Your feelings might get hurt when you discover new information. That's a personal matter that we all deal with personally. My feelings was hurt when I found out it looked like us.
Right.
Because I couldn't understand for the life of me how somebody that looked like me could be the cause of me being in this condition we in.
Right.
Right? But they there talking about. I'm not guessing. I'm just giving the people the visual receipts so they can see exactly what I'm talking about, so they know that I ain't just pulling this out. Yeah, so Ellis Island was the intake for the Europeans that was being subjugated in Europe. Now remember, the war with the Moors and the Irish, the Moors salted potato fields and caused the Great Potato Famine.
Go ahead. You
right, by using seawater on the land, it took so many years for the land to cleanse itself. Right now, look, Native Americans in the early colonial years, children born of one. Oh, this is the one drop of blood, Elder.
Yeah.
This is the one drop of blood. Right. So, in order to tie yourself to the clans, you needed a drop of blood. If you don't get this drop of blood, you won't be related to nobody over here.
Go ahead.
Right. So, this is the doctrine. About the one drop of blood. So let's go to the top of the page and read it.
Okay, I got you.
It's saying in the early colonial years, children born of one indigenous and one non-native parent usually had a white father and an indigenous mother. This was largely due to the majority of the early colonists being male. You see that?
Go ahead.
They wasn't bringing women with them.
That's right.
As many Native American tribes had matrilineal kinship systems. This is critical to the culture.
Right here. Yeah.
Matrilineal kinship system means you related through the motherline first.
Oh, mitochondrial DNA.
Mitochondrial DNA. They considered the children to be born to the mother's family and clan. Right? If they were raised in the culture, they were considered members of the community and therefore fully Native American.
Hey, man, damn, Rod, when you just said this, man, I ain't mean to stop you or nothing. But now you just made sense of what my grandma said back in the day before this white man came. We used to the man used to leave his tribe and go to the woman's tribe. She told me that.
Yeah, it say that in the Bible. A man shall leave his mother and father, cleaving to his wife, they should become one flesh. He's joining her family. She's not joining his.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Prior to colonization and still in traditional communities, the idea of determining belonging by degree of blood was and is unheard of. Native American tribes did not use blood quantum law until the government introduced the Indian Reorganization Act of 1934. Look at the year, Elder.
1934.
What year Elijah Muhammad started teaching?
1934, right?
3.
Hey,
1933.
When the stock market crashed. This is when the stock market is about to crash. When Noble Jew Ali, they doing in 1933.
This was after the crash. The crash was in 29.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. Among patrilineal tribes. Now notice they say patrilineal tribes because we did have tribes that was patrilineal.
Go ahead.
Such as the Omaha. Historically, a child born to an Omaha mother and a white father could belong officially to the Omaha tribe only if the child were formally adopted into it by a male citizen. In contemporary practice, tribal law around citizenship and parentage can vary widely between nations, which means between clans.
Okay, go ahead. Drop of blood.
This is the one drop rule. Is a social and legal principle of racial classification that was historically prominent in the United States in the 20th century. It asserted that any person with even one ancestor of black ancestry, now notice they're using black now in the classification. They're not using native no more.
Right. Go ahead.
Right. One drop of black blood is considered black, Negro, or colored in historical terms. The concept became codified into the law of some states in the early 20th century. It was associated with the principle of invisible blackness. See that?
Yeah.
That developed after the long history of racial interaction in the South.
Go ahead.
They mean in the raping of the women on the plantations, but they weren't plantations. They was villages. They was Big Mama's house.
Yeah, go ahead.
They just took Mama out and said it's the big house.
Go ahead.
Right. This is why they was marrying the women so they can take over Big Mama house.
Go ahead.
Which had included the hardening of slavery as a racial caste and later segregation. It is an example of hypo-descent, the automatic assignment of children of a mixed union between different socioeconomic and ethnic groups.
Hold on, it blew it down. Hold on, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, damn, it jumped off.
That was it.
Oh, that was it right there. So
that was on the last paragraph.
Right here, this part right here.
The one right before that, I was up to racial class and later the segregation. It is an example of hypo-descent, the automatic assignment of children of a mixed union between different socioeconomic or ethnic groups to the group with the lower status, regardless of proportion of ancestry in different groups. So in other words, it was the way to declassify. When I mean I mean to make you lesser in the classification. Right? Because it's saying right here is between different socioeconomic or ethnic groups. Socioeconomic means financial strata.
Go ahead.
The money base, the family with the money versus the haves versus the have-nots.
Go ahead.
It say the one-drop rule is defunct in law in the United States and was never codified into federal law.
Go ahead.
Right? But the origin of this go back to the Sumerian tablets when they was talking about the breeding program of the Lulu Amalu.
Go ahead.
And they realized that they had screwed up, and they was telling them that the only remedy was to give them a drop of Anunnaki blood.
Go ahead.
This is the same story.
Go ahead.
It's just written now. Instead of the being in Sumeria, the Earthborn versus the Anunnaki, or the Lulu Amalu versus the Anunnaki. Now it's the indigenous organic people to this land versus the people that came over here from Al-Maghrib.
Go ahead.
So what we look at, no matter how you look at it, the story is playing in a cyclic formation throughout history. That means that we stuck in a time loop of repeat.
Okay.
The culture gonna change on the surface, but under the bottom, it's gonna be still the same force at play.
Go ahead.
Right now, go to the top. Let's see what this is. Wonder why I said. Oh, okay. Let's go. Let's read this. This is the next page. Among the colonial slave societies, the United States was nearly unique in developing the one-drop rule. It derived from the Southern slave culture shared by other societies. You see that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
It was shared by other societies. In the aftermath of the American Civil War, emancipation of slaves, and Reconstruction. In the late 19th century, Southern whites regained political power and restored white supremacy, passing Jim Crow laws and establishing racial segregation by law. In the 20th century, during the Black Power movement, Black race-based groups claimed all people of any African ancestry as Black in a reverse way to establish political power. Remember in the beginning, I said this is going to turn out to be political.
Right. Right.
This is where it's coming political now. because now we dealing with it in the realm of politics, but we also looking at historical context of social differences between two groups of people.
Go ahead.
Right. So in colonial Spanish America, many soldiers and explorers took indigenous women as wives.
Right.
And that's why I was telling somebody that asked me about the brighter skin, Arawaks, Tainos, etc. And I was telling them that a lot of that was because they had married people from another ethnic stock.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Right. Because the original Arawaks, they kind of look similar to us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. But now they look a broad range of what we call phenotypes due to amalgamation with foreigners. Right.
Go ahead.
Now it says that native born Spanish women were always a minority. That means that native born women from Spain.
Go ahead.
That means the two Spanish people coming there and having a baby, because they was mostly men coming over here because they was warriors, soldiers.
Go ahead.
The colonists developed an elaborate classification and caste system that identified the mixed race descendants of blacks, Amerindians, and whites by different names related to appearance and known ancestry. Right now, when they say related to appearance, that becomes important to understand the classification is taking place as it's taking place by those who were marrying into the peoples. Racial caste only depended on ancestry or skin color, also could be raised or lowered by the person's financial status or class. So the only way that you could come over the deficit and be dark is by becoming rich.
Right.
And we all know this is why America is called the Great Melting Pot.
Go ahead.
The melting pot is a monocultural metaphor for the heterogeneous society becoming more homogeneous. We got to look some words up. The people don't know what that stuff means.
They cutting you up bad, man.
Heterogeneous society and homogeneous. The different elements melting together with a common culture.
Down these terms like monoculture, cultural means like one culture, like that, right? Mono means one,
right? One culture.
Yeah.
Right. It's a metaphor of one culture. The heterogeneous and the homogeneous. It's going to explain it as it goes. The different elements melting together with a common culture. An alternative being a homogeneous society becoming more heterogeneous.
Oh. Hold on. Damn. Just click me. Oh, damn. All right. Yeah. Right here. We right here. Let's make it just a little bit. Boom. Right there.
Okay. A homogeneous society becoming more heterogeneous through the influx of foreign elements with different cultural backgrounds, possessing the potential to create disharmony within the previous culture. Historically, it is often used to describe the cultural integration of immigrants to the United States. So what this is basically saying is that the culture has to absorb the foreigner in order for the foreigner to be accepted by the original culture that was already there.
Mm-hmm.
The homegrown culture is the homogeneous culture. The heterogeneous culture is the culture that's coming to face you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So hetero means face to two things that's on equal footing or on different sides of or something.
Mm-hmm.
1 to 1. Right. Okay, so then it goes into the exact term melting pot came into general usage in the United States after it was used as a metaphor describing a fusion of nationalities, cultures.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, it just switched. Man, what the heck? My bad, bro.
You good, Elder? Part of life. You gotta just roll with it and see what we do the best we can. What we got.
Hey, we going hard though. You cracking heads and twisting caps back all the way back.
The desirability of assimilation in the melting pot model has been rejected by proponents of multiculturalism. What multiculturalism is everybody stay to themselves among it, like Chinatown, Greek town. Right, but when you from the land, all that belong to you too. You part of their culture too, because they on your land.
Right, go ahead.
Right. This is why the clash between heterogeneous and homogeneous becomes a conflict when they want to become a multicultural group, separating each group and classifying them. The tribes didn't believe in classifying people. You either human or you not.
Right. Go ahead.
We ain't gonna throw nobody away like trash over here.
Yeah, right.
Go right. Ahead. So the multiculturalism who have suggested alternative metaphors to describe the current American society, such as mosaic, salad bowl, or kaleidoscope. These are just terms.
Yeah.
In which different cultures mix but remain distinct in some aspect. So the melting pot continues to be used as an assimilation model in vernacular and political discourse along the more inclusive models of assimilation in the academic debates on identity, adaptation, and integration of immigrants into various political, social, and economic spheres. Right. Yeah. So this is how they determine in who do business in our community.
Okay. Go ahead.
In the 18th and 19th centuries, the metaphor of a crucible or smelting pot was used to describe the fusion of the different nationalities, ethnicities, and cultures. It was used together with concepts of the United States as an ideal republic and a city up on a hill. Right? That's called a citadel, by the way, or a new promised land. It was a metaphor for the idealized process of immigration and colonization by which different nationalities, cultures, and races, a term that could encompass nationality, ethnicity, and racist views of humanity, were to blend into a new virtuous community, and it was connected to the utopian vision of the emergence of an American new man. While melting was in common use, the exact term melting pot came into the general usage in 1908 after the premiere of the play The Melting Pot by Israel Zangwill.
Wow, notice the name.
Concepts. What's that? I can't see the top word.
Hold on.
The concept of immigrants melting into the receiving culture are found in the writings of J. Hector St. John de Crevoiseau in his Letters from an American Farmer. He writes, in response to his own question, what then is the American, this new man? That the American is one who, leaving behind him all his ancient prejudices and manners, receives new ones from the new mode of life he has embraced. The government he obeys and the new rank he holds. He becomes an American by being received in the broad lap of the great alma mater. You see what that is?
Alma mater. Yeah, I heard this before. Go ahead.
Right. The word mater mean mother. The word alma mean great.
Yeah, go ahead.
They talking about Big Mama now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now go back up for a minute because I want to point something out.
Okay.
It said America, leaving behind him all his ancient prejudices and manners, receives new ones from the new mode of life he has embraced, the government he obeys, and the new rank he holds. Right? So they had to give all of that hate stuff up, but they want to hold on to that doctrine of conquest.
Go ahead.
He becomes an American by being received by the alma mater. Here, individuals of all nations are melted into a new race of men whose labors and posterity will one day cause great changes in the world.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Right? This is telling you what kind of association they would have to have with the organic people of the land if you're paying attention.
Right? Go ahead.
Right? Because in order for them to be able to remain on this land, you can't have that hate shit. You can't come with that hate shit.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We had to win the Conjure War. Right? And we're going to round down from here, Elder. In this Conjure War, it was 200 years to determine what side of the water we came from.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm old Mississippi clay dirt walking around in human form.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from the land. And I can see the people that's not from the land that don't know the culture because they can't read the messages that the elders left. That if you got the blood and the right, you will be able to assimilate these messages and be able to tell the people what the ancestors has been telling us all this time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? So, and I study history with a critical scientific perspective. I don't take sides.
Yeah. Hey, your
I learned to stop taking sides when I found out that the whole time the white man ain't white.
Go ahead.
And he wrote this Protocols of the Wise Men of Zion is the doctrine of white supremacy.
Go ahead.
The enforcement manual is called Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike.
I got that. Go ahead.
The defense system to this conjure is written by Dr. Neely Fuller.
I can't put that one. Yeah.
Hey, look, they believe that. Don't believe that. It ain't too many of us. It's probably more of us that don't have pale skin than it is pale skins that don't have some of us.
Yeah, that's right, Rod. Man, a lot of these people thinking they white folks, they really ain't. They check your blood type. You got that one drop. I see them all the time. Yeah.
Type in what is passing in Black America mean?
Racial passing occurs when a person who is classified as a member of a racial group is accepted or perceived passed as a member of another racial group. You got that right?
Yep. So all of these people that's supposed to have been made from the plantations in the South being raped by these pale men came to the North in the Great Migration and married into the what we call broader white culture. All of these was marrying the people that was coming in from Ellis Island because they already had their drop of blood.
Go ahead.
Trojan horses.
Go ahead.
Right. So in the end, the word more was the catch term.
Go ahead.
To classify us under so we wouldn't know what side of the water we came from.
Go ahead.
Noble Drew Ali gave us the spoilers by telling us key information. This key information is reiterated from a different perspective through Garvey, through Elijah, through Malachi.
Go ahead.
Right? So we got 2 off the red house and 2 off the blue house. That's a 4-corner shuffle.
Go ahead.
The 4-corner shuffle flips us what we call the shrine. And the shrine is the sacred place of the great mother. Put her back on her throne. That's all we ask.
That's all we asking. Like Tupac said.
Stop letting them tell you God is a man. God is a woman, the great mother of all creation, who birthed creation from her uterus. When you show your man being born with a uterus, then we can talk.
Say that then. Say that. Say it. Celia. Hey, shout out this sister right here, man. She showed us some love tonight, man.
Oh yeah, she where my mouth is literally.
Yeah, because she got the L and the Bay on there
Literally.
too. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
You
could
know
you
what that
break?
means,
Could you
right?
elaborate on that? That's what I was gonna say. Elaborate on that a little bit. The L, the Bay, the day. You know,
Okay,
the five stars.
those were positions. The L's
Mhm,
were the ones who came on the waters. Those
mhm.
were the lawgivers from
Okay,
the admiralty jurisdiction. The Bays
okay.
were the land governors. Their
Go ahead.
jurisdiction was the land.
Go ahead.
She having both names means she got the right to stand with one foot on the land and one foot in the water.
That's right.
And then
Crackhead.
she can get law on both sides as a matriarch. Soon as she get to the top position in the Moorish Women's Consulate, she got the blood from the land, and she got the jurisdiction of the invaders.
Go ahead.
That's how Madam that's how Empress Verdiasi was able to beat him.
Go ahead.
She had to raise her level on both sides of the law.
The
She had
Bay
to
and
know her
the L.
tribal side, and then she had to master the admiralty side. That gives her automatic victory. But you notice they never paid up.
Go ahead. Show didn't.
Why they didn't pay up? Because she didn't break the conjure, right?
Okay, go ahead,
Why she
Rod.
didn't break the conjure? The conjure was it was us, the chiefs, the males. The women all the time. The women was always in harmony because the women was always from the earth tribes.
Go ahead.
So that's why the Muslims women consulate that was already doing the same thing that the MGTGCC doing under Noble Drew Ali and under Marcus Garvey. It was the women nurse brigade
Go ahead.
that was doing the work, but they was all the time reorganizing the people on the land so that we could figure out how to get the matriarchy back in power on the land,
Go ahead.
because they used the crash site, Plymouth Rock. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
That's right.
Plymouth is the Mayflower. The Mayflower crashed in the Hudson Bay by DC. I mean, not the Hudson Bay, but whatever the hell that bay is over there, right? By DC, and they declared it a crash site.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once they declared a crash site, the land surveyors, because we had war in Florida.
That's right.
We had war in Louisiana Territory with the French.
Go ahead.
When all that stuff go on. Now the English is doing this now. This is the English. All of these is dark-skinned European melanated people. And they was handling people as what they call temple hands.
Go ahead.
Them the ones who sit around in the lodges and they are not allowed to participate, but they work for the master. That's the story that Prince Paul's telling us.
Go ahead.
Right?
They
And they knew all the rituals and the rites.
Okay, go ahead.
Because they knew the rules and rights, when we go into the Conjure War, they create something called the Garden Plot. Ended up being headed at its end by George Herbert Walker Bush through his CIA connection. That's his Illuminati affiliation. Right? So when they did that, they started persecuting both sides of us. The ones that came and the one who was here. And that's your Jim Crow laws.
Right. Right.
That's when they start really getting in good. You know, so now y'all know the term more is a catch term.
You did
the word more is a catch term.
Damn sure is. And that agrees with what Baba was trying to tell us years ago about somebody else called us that.
He gave us the same rundown. He just used a different set of receipts.
Yeah. 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 Somebody else called you that. That's what he said. Not we didn't call ourselves that. Somebody else called us that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
An exonym.
So what do we go from here with the people that like the term more and like
They
to
can
call
keep
us?
look. They can keep it as long as they get the imposters out. Because it's a lot of tribes now that fall under the Red House that uses the term more to self-identify. They got a right to call themselves whatever they can call themselves, Green Spaceship Martian, if they want to.
That's right. That's in the rights of indigenous people and the rights of the human rights.
Yeah, self-identification is your right.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't care about what they call themselves. I just want them to clean their house up. Angel Bay gonna take care of it.
Yeah.
I'm just telling them what's taking place so that the righteous Moors can see where the dirty Moors at. Don't say nothing yet though. Wait for Angel Bay to tell y'all to move.
Yeah. We got this on lock, Roy. You did a good job. Hey, look, I'm gonna make some shorts from this joint because on some key points that you said, because you said some key pivot points here, man. The main thing is getting Big Bad Mama back her chill.
That's all I care about. I don't care who feelings get hurt.
Yeah.
Fuck
Big
your
Mama.
feelings.
Yeah.
Put Big Mama back on her throne. Fuck your feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna leave it at that.
I don't know. You could, on that, you could drop the mic and walk off stage after that, Roy. You drop the mic, walk right, just turn and walk off, man. This game over.